Breaking news, Elaine Thompson sprints from Nike to Puma, leaving MVP Track Club and coach Stephen Francis in the dust. Greetings people, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for making it Peter Lloyd World. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you are a returning person, big up yourself. If you have not already, please hit that subscribe button. And if you like the content, please hit the like button. Now let's get into this story. People, in a move that really should not have surprised any of us, given, let us say, recent activities of her shoe rep, Nike, world's fastest woman, Elaine Thompson-Herah's team, reportedly sent a letter to MVP Track Club and the reps at Nike, stating her intention to leave the brand and the MVP Track Club. Now, let's talk. In having had the greatest track season, I'm going to say it again, in the history of women's sprints in 2021, where she lowered the fastest time on earth twice, won 3 gold medals, defended her 100 and 200 meter Olympic medals from Rio in 2016, where she became once more the third time, I think, Diamond League champion, where she has lost only one race, and that was to the remarkable Shelley and Fraser Price. Us regular people in the general public have been asking the obvious question regarding her shoe rep Nike and their treatment of her. Now, rumors were always spreading that Elaine Thompson and her camp were not very, let's say, appreciative of her treatment. Some of you may remember that Nike seemed to have been treating other athletes who had not achieved anywhere near as much, and in some instances had achieved pretty much nothing on a global scale, in a remarkable way, while sort of leaving Elaine Thompson-Herah, as if, the greatest the greatest sprinter on the planet was being treated, let us say, not as well as she should have been treated. And these rumors had been circulating for some time, and I, as a fan of the sport, who loves the sport so much, it appeared to me as if this could easily be substantiated. Because let's face it, if you are at the top of your game, if you are the best at what you do, and you're not being compensated or treated properly by your handlers, and if we're to be honest, we all suspected as much. We heard the rumors, and therefore this move, if it is correct, because at this point it's alleged, if this is correct, then I'm not surprised, and I don't think any of you who follow track and field would actually be surprised yourself. I think the only thing in this that I need to substantiate and find out if it's actually true, the only thing that will that confuses me about this is whether or not she's going to leave and bring coach Stephen Francis with her, because he's an essential part of the MVP Track Club. One would say he's the backbone, and Stephen Francis did coach her to the greatest track season in her sprint history. The fastest woman alive, 10.54 in Eugene, Oregon, at the Prefontaine Classic, just a hair's breadth away from what people thought had been impossible, which is Flojo's 100 meter world record. She ran 21.53 in the 200 meters to win at the Olympic Games at another remarkable time. She has seemingly recovered fully from her Achilles heel injury issues. And although her season started slowly with of course this race I'm showing you, the National Olympic Trials at the National Stadium, where she came third to her compatriots Shelley and Fraser Price, who won of course, and Shericka Jackson, who came second. The fact of the matter is, coach Stephen Francis has clearly been integral in her becoming this phenom that she has become. I'm kind of talking off the top of my head because this is something that I have been contemplating for some time. So I am really not shocked that she would run from Nike, given the fact that it's been kind of obvious. I mean, Nike, as I said, I'm going to repeat myself. Nike was pushing a particular athlete from the USA who, although talented, has never won a single global title, literally. And it was evident that Elaine Thompson Herah was not getting the treatment that you at the top of your game, that the pinnacle. I mean, let's face it, people. At this point, she is the hottest property in track and field. There is no other person who can pull a stadium full of people at this point. I'm stating this the way Elaine Thompson Herah. The only person that I could think in track and field today who could possibly come close is, of course, Shelly Ann Fraser-Pryce. So I am not surprised, and if this is confirmed to be true, I don't think MVP Track Club should be surprised either. I mean, I don't think they should be shocked. Like I said, my only confusion is to whether or not she's going to be bringing Coach Stephen Francis with her. Now, it is rumored, and my source is relatively, let's say my source is pretty competent, but it is heavily suggested, and I stated it earlier on, that Puma has a massive multi-million-dollar and multi-year contract sitting down there waiting on her, a juicy contract for Elaine Thompson Herah to sign and pick up. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised, and I'm sure that any of you who've been following track and field, if you people love the sport as passionately as I do, I am sure that you are not surprised. Like I said, the only thing for me that's a little confusing is whether or not she would actually leave Stephen Francis, because when a coach and an athlete has that kind of chemistry, when the sauce is right, when the recipe perfect, you try not to mess with the recipe. So I'm thinking, and I'm going to try and find out for you all, that possibly what's going to happen here is that she's going to be leaving MVP Track Club, and Stephen Francis is probably going to go with her, because let's face it, at this point she is his top athlete. She is his athlete, So there you have it. The great Elaine Thompson Herah sprints from Nike to Puma, and she leaves MVP Track Club and possibly Stephen Francis in the dust. And I'm going to say it again, no one should be surprised by this. This was kind of obvious. It was obvious that something like this was going to happen. The rumors had been swirling for quite some time within the track and field world that she was not happy. It was obvious to us as fans on the outside looking in. Certainly as Jamaicans, we saw the difference in treatment. How do you treat an athlete who has never won a global title, who never in such a and while you have a right to do that as a company, you are ignoring the athlete who is actually the world's top sprinter, literally. So it was a little, for me, it was a little insane. So there you have it. I really want to know two things from you. First of all, I want to know if you agree that she should leave MVP and Nike. Secondly, do you think she should leave Coach Francis? I mean, do you think that it would be a good move for her to leave Coach Francis? I'd love to know your thoughts, people. And as always, bless up in a Zion. Bless up, people. Bless up.